Welcome to Talk Bowling, episode 120. I'm Dustin Seymour.
I'm Tony Rucco.
I'm Rich Karuba.
Talk Bowling is proud to bring you the latest information from the bowling industry, bowling tips, and updates from the world's largest bowling website, bowlingballcom.
So it's our last one with Rich for right now.
He's been here for 4 weeks. We haven't changed shirts.
It's getting pretty smelly.
It's getting a little stinky in the room.
They're kicking me to the curb, folks, and I have to leave, but I promise I'll be back at some
He will
point.
be back for sure.
Sending him home.
So that's some in-depth questions today.
All right, let's do it.
All right, question from YouTube. I am 41, have been throwing the same way since I was 18. I was taught to carry and throw the ball like you would a suitcase. I'm trying to change over to a more conventional throw, behind the ball and letting the thumb come out first and rotating with my fingers on release. Is there an easy way to train off the lanes to get the memory of my arm to program this way? I tend to mess up on league and throw both ways, keeping me in the high 160s and want to get better.
May I?
Sure. You're the suitcase release time frame guy in this group.
Thanks, David. Yes, we were the cream puffers back in the day. Well, first of all, at the end of your question, it says, get the memory of my arm to program this way. You don't need to rotate your arm to change your release. All you got to do is rotate 1 inch of your finger rotation as your thumb exits the ball. So you don't have to rotate the whole arm. If you do that, you're going to get into accuracy control problems, and you won't get a consistent release, and your ball motion will vary. So just try to, if you stay somewhat behind the ball, you don't need to be 100% underneath it. You can be halfway between suitcase and dead underneath it, regardless if you're left-handed or right-handed. And then just 1 inch of rotation right at the moment. Now, what you can do to practice at home that combines accuracy in this motion is, you want to pick a spot, walk up to any wall, could be in your hallway or somewhere that's stationary. You got some room to swing your arm back all the way, shoulder height and forward shoulder height. And then you want to get into a position like you are releasing the ball on the lanes. And pick a spot directly in front of your bowling shoulder or to the outside edge of your bowling shoulder. And keep it there and stand about 1 inch away from the wall when your fingers are fully extended. And then swing back and through and make sure your fingers come up the same point that you keep your eyes focused on the wall. Over and over. That'll improve your swing direction. And while you're doing that, your eye can see if you're over rotating your hand and your whole arm is rotating. Keep the arm stationary, slight finger rotation down at the bottom because you're going to swing your arm back and through. Don't have a bowling ball in your hand, folks. And then work on that. And the next thing you can do is then turn sideways to the wall and put your shoulder up against the wall, or maybe just a 1/4 inch away from it, and swing to where your fingernails brush the wall to follow through. If you're inside the wall, it means you're pulling your hand across, and you may pull your shot inside your target on the lane. The whole object is to swing toward your target. Let your hand follow your ball toward your target. And you don't need to do a full rotation, just a little bit of a rotation, and you can have an effective roll on the bowling ball.
And there's a little tip that we used to use. You can take a football, put the football in your hand laterally.
That's the best tip.
Like you're going to throw it, but take the football, swing it back, and then rotate your hand enough that you can spin it up.
Underhand spirals.
Right. Underhand spirals onto the point of the football, and it'll give you the feeling. I agree with your statement, not so much about the arm, but how do you get a memory of this? I talk about muscle memory. We talk about it forever in bowling, and I talk about it with my son in baseball, and you have to program your muscles to do it the same way every time. And that is a surefire way. You do that enough, your body will start to take over, your muscle memory will take over.
It'll teach you not to overturn, too, because if you overturn it when you do that, you got to end over it.
Keith used to also have people take a tennis ball, and because we would sometimes overcompensate the motion, and then you could back off of it. Take a tennis ball and underhand it to a point where when it hits, it'll bounce left. Give it that English. It'll give you a feeling of making your hand control the object that you're trying to get out of your hand, and it'll retrain your muscle memory. It'll take some time. It'll take practice. It'll take going to the lanes and not caring what your score is, and just bowling and getting the ball off your hand the right way. So hope that helps.
And we also have a question from Facebook. The question is, I've had several instances of ball damage at my local bowling center lately. They've repaired my ball by filling gouges and missing chunks with clear resin at no charge. My questions are, how much can this affect the ball's performance, and what is the center's responsibility to the customer for lanes that are continuing to cause damage to balls from screw heads that are sticking up in the gutters?
Gonna make every bowling center proprietor in the world hate us.
Well,
All right. Well, the first part of that, there's really not that much effect. If the damage is repairable, if your pro shop can honestly repair it and it's not that big that they have to replace the bowling ball, most likely the amount of plug that they're putting on the ball isn't going to affect it. You want to pay attention to when it's in your track. The part you want to pay attention to is that the pro shop does a good job of getting the ball back to round. You don't want it to get wavy, which is easy to do when you're working with ball plug because you have some varying densities, so you can overcut the plug where you may overcut the ball. So I would watch that it's smooth and that the ball is in round. If it's not in your track, I don't usually repair them. I would beg bowlers when we were in the pro shops, if it's not affecting the roll of the ball, just leave it alone. It's cosmetic. And when you do plug a bowling ball, it does void the warranty with most manufacturers, if not all manufacturers. So if it doesn't need to be done, don't do it. It doesn't affect the ball much, and if it's not your track, it's just cosmetic. It doesn't matter. Especially if you bowl at a place that's prone to lane damages, you're going to get another one most likely the next time you bowl or whatever it is. It's as far as responsibility of the bowling center.
Well, that's an interesting concept. First of all, if the owner or the management aren't aware that this is happening frequently, just assuming that the maintenance is taking care of this and it's just minimal times where this is happening, they're not going to really worry or address the issue too much. However, if everybody in your league is having the same problems and you all get together and you report it in a professional and polite way to the management, and then they don't do anything about it, then you can, then it's a question if you're committed to stay bowling in that same center or not. But the first step would be to communicate the frequency of it in a nice way and give the management a chance to address the problem. That would be my suggestion.
if it's happened really frequently and over, more than a reasonable period of time, they've got some issues, and you might want to think about.
I would think most bowling centers, whether it's corporately owned or privately owned, want to know about the issue. Obviously, I'm sure there's some centers out there with bad owners or bad managers, but I would think a majority of the bowling centers, this is their livelihood, it's how they make a living, and they don't want you to be upset and leave the bowling center. So I would, like Rich said, politely, you go up to them professionally, tell them, listen, we're having this issue, here's what we're seeing. I would go, if it's happening during league, go to your league president, go to your league secretary. That's what they're there for. Whether they're getting paid or they're volunteering, that's part of their duty, is to make sure that the league bowlers are happy. So I would go to them, have them approach them. It doesn't always work when you and 3 other teams bum rush the manager on a Friday night. That doesn't always end up well. So
lane damage happens. There's nothing. I mean, maintenance will help avoid it, but every once in a while it's going to happen. And most centers really want to help, make you happy and take care of it. But like Tony said, if it's not the track, leave it alone.
chicks dig scars.
They did. All right, we have some upcoming product releases. On August 9th, Brunswick's releasing the Absolute Nirvana and the Fanatic BTU. Radical is releasing the Ridiculous Pearl and the Xeno, and Deviate with the Vandal Smash and Deviant Pearl.
And also on August 9th, Hammer is releasing the Dark Legend Solid and Track the Heat Extreme. And then on August 23rd, Columbia 300 will be releasing the Swerve GT.
And Ebonite, the Game Breaker 2 Phenom.
I keep skipping that one.
It's going to be a good ball. Why would you skip it, Tony?
I don't know. I don't know why my eyes aren't drawn to that day for some reason. All right, contest.
What is the Brunswick Mineral Light and the Ebonite Tornado going to be?
It's going to be a while.
Oh, that'll be.
Yeah.
How about the MF3 daughter?
We're going to have to invent time travel,
Okay.
and then we can go back.
I want that
How
one.
about the Swedish Ripley or the Manhattan
I want the
Robber?
one that was red, white, and blue with the stripe around it. It looked like tie-dye. You remember that?
Dating Rich.
Dating me,
Well,
for
I
sure.
used to see them on the rack at bowling.
That's house balls.
Yeah, I thought they were cool.
All right, our weekly contest on bowling boards or bowlingball.com. Sorry, click the 52-week 52 winner icon on the right side of the page to register. We give away a ball every single week. You do have to register every week. You can register multiple ways on the website, through the modal pop-up that may come up if you're on the website. You can also subscribe to the newsletter, and there's links in the newsletter to register for the contest.
Also head over to bowlingboards.com. They also give away a bowling ball each week. It's a great community with lots of bowling talk, and if you have any questions, people there will be happy to answer them. But all you have to do is register an account, make at least one post per week, and you'll be entered. And you can head over to their Facebook page also, facebook.com/bowlingboards, and sign up that way.
And Pyramid Bowling has weekly giveaways. We give away balls, bags, shoes, something every week through our Facebook page at facebook.com/Pyramid Bowling. So check that out. Like, share, comment on our post on Facebook, and enter for a chance to win.
That Pyramid is becoming a very popular brand, from what I understand.
They must have some really good-looking guys behind it.
Gee,
my goodness.
That's what I think it is.
I knew there was a reason.
That's why.
That's definitely the reason.
No doubt. Again, all contests reset each week, so make sure to go and sign up every week for all 3 of those contests.
And we need your questions. We want to answer them. So get in touch with us. You can email us at questions@talkbowling.com. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/talkbowling. On Twitter, we're at talkbowling, and you can leave a comment on talkbowling.com. And last week's question of the week: who was the youngest person to win a PBA regional title? And the answer is Wesley Lowe Jr. at 15 years old. He's a two-handed lefty.
I know who he is because you just said two-handed lefty. I have no clue who that is.
Very good.
Beyond that. Is it the kid that won the Dexter, the Teen Master deal a few years ago?
Yeah, he's won a bunch
Who won
of
the
stuff.
first PBA regional title on the western region of the PBA?
I'm going to go with Rich Group.
How did you know that? It was a team event. It was actually a series of games that were pro-ams. It was a pro-am event where we went right down the house bowling on every pair of lanes, and when it was over, I had high pinfall among the pros. You know, it was pretty casual in those days. Sometimes we'd have plastic cups filled with beverages that weren't just sarsaparilla, if you know what I mean, folks. And so when I got done, I got the little award for it.
Nice.
That was how the bowling came from the dark ages into what it is today. A lot of fun. I wish I could talk for a long time about some of the old things that might be interesting or maybe not.
Well, you're welcome to
I'm
keep
done.
going.
I'm gonna leave. I'm just gonna. We'll end the episode. And we'll put.
We'll end the
this in
episode.
middle.
We'll just go.
And just let Rich talk.
I like it.
All right. This week's question of the week: what was the first PBA event held outdoors, and who was the champion?
So that's a good question. It's tough. It's not going to be tough if you look it up. But
I think I know the answer to the question.
you did. We'll
Rich
find
does.
out here once we turn it
Maybe.
off. Yeah.
That would have been my guess.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go Rich.
Rich
knows.
is on it. All right. In closing, please remember that bowlingball.com is free shipping on every item every day. No hidden handling fees, no packaging fees, no added insurance fees, and no minimum purchase. The price shown is the price you pay at checkout. Bowlingball.com, it's where bowlers go.
Thanks, Rich, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me. I enjoyed it. Hope to be back soon.
We'll see you in future episodes for sure. Thank you.